But I wanna understand a little bit more of because the Vision Quest is not some kind of new age thing that someone made up in the '60s, and now it's like let's all sit around and get in touch with our souls a little bit more, and it's like a hippie thing. This is one of the oldest. It's kind of funny because we're in a transformational culture. So our community of men is just one community of people that want to change their lives or transform something and change. Personal development, psychological development, self-help, consulting for business. Like there's this whole world of transformation that everyone watching this video is going to have walked through. And the Vision Quest is kind of like the oldest transformational program in existence. That's the sense that I get. Like this is going back thousands of years. Before Tony Robbins took to the stage and riled everybody up with chants and hypnotic language or whatever, it's goal setting. Like this is kind of the original and deepest in many ways. What?
Yeah, really. Sorry, what do you want to say?
Yeah. Where's it? I just want to kind of spell out the significance of this and kind of who's been doing this over the years and why, and what is, why would cultures and tribes stick to this practice over hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years and pass it down from generation to generation? Like I want to get to the essence of the transformational power and just what it means for the lives of the men, the women as well, but the men in this case who are going through this ritual.
Yeah, because this is truly ancestral knowledge and an ancestral tradition for many different cultures. I mean, nowadays it's very known for the North American traditions, the North American indigenous traditions, but they also had these traditions in South America, but also in Africa, and even in Europe, we had these rites of passage. So I think this is also something that is ingrained within our system. It's in our DNA. And just coming back to what you said, like why does this energy all of a sudden start flowing once you decide going on a Vision Quest? I think this ancestral knowledge is within us. And so this is what's starting to wake up. It's like this memory that we have. And I think that everyone who is meant to do this, because it's not for everyone at every moment in time, right? You really have to feel the urge to do this. But I think the moment you see it announced or you hear someone talking about it, and it's like instant recognition, like, oh, this is what I need to do, because it's so profound. And going back to your question is like, why would all these different cultures have this tradition? The rite of passage it's a moment where you stand still and reflect on your life. You reflect where you're coming from, where you're going to, and it's assuming your social position within your community. And it's most known for the male rites of passage, like becoming a man, because it's like this hardship you have to endure, right? You go out before you were, being taken care of by your mother. All of a sudden, you have to be by yourself in the wild, defending yourself and finding your way back home. Sometimes, like in African cultures, this was the thing. You go out and you have to find your way back.
So no more mum, no more women, no more cuddles, no more, sweet words of affirmation in your ear. Go out and do hardship.
To find yourself, to prove yourself, but also to find that vision of who is it that you want to be, who is it that you're meant to be. What, having that connection with your soul is like, okay, we have this time ahead of us. What do we want to make out of it, And so within every change of life, you get a new set of responsibilities that come with it. And, we're going through many different stages of life. Becoming an adult, but also becoming a parent, nowadays becoming an entrepreneur. And we go through these transitions in life these days without really realizing, because, you're in different transitions all the time and they kind of come and go. So it's really powerful to take that moment, see who you are, where you want to go, and then ask for help of the divine or of nature, the universe, to have the highest vision and to get the insights of how you get there, what you need to get there. And you get tools from the universe or your higher self to reach your highest goal. And this is something that our ancestors already realized, and that is something that we can still connect with this day and age.
I want to share my motivation for doing this, actually, because, we spoke a lot about the Vision Quest and the different shamanic rituals that you work with, that you've been doing for years. As soon as you said that you did a Vision Quest, when I got to your land last year, I was like, I want to do it. And you're like, no, you can't. I'm like, but can I go tomorrow? Like the next day, I've got a few phone calls, but after that, I'm going to go up on the mountain. And you're like, no, you really need to think about this, because there's a whole detox process. Like, you can't go up there now. You're addicted to meat. You're addicted to caffeine. You're going to sit on the side of the mountain. You're going to go crazy with headaches. And I was like, oh, damn it, Melissa. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe I should sit around and carry on drinking wine, with my friends by the lake and enjoying France. But because there is a whole we'll talk about this in a bit, like the preparation that's involved with your particular Vision Quest, which is different to the way a lot of schools and leaders are running it. But I asked myself, why am I so drawn to this? And one, I know that it's such a beautiful complement to the teachings of masculine edge that we have, that Zan's been talking about for years. But personally, I'm going to do this in a few months' time. And there are two different intentions I have for my own personal Vision Quest. So I'll be there, I'll do my detox, my purification program. I will tie up all the things that I've left untended here on Earth in my daily life. And there are two fundamental things that I would love to experience on my Vision Quest that I want to transform me. And the first one is a rites of passage. Like, I want to kind of formally close one period of my life and step fully into another. And what it is for me is, this has already started to shift. So for years and years and years, I've been like the epic itinerant traveler. I've been all over the world, all continents, or I've been doing a lot of soul seeking in culture, in spirituality, and understanding myself and understanding my relationship to women, especially. I've been really, really soul seeking, and that's been the first thing in my priority. And then afterwards, I'd come back and write about it, or come back and coach others about it, or come back and kind of tell my story. And I feel there's been a maturing that's taken place in my own life, where it's I feel less inclined to care about my own soul seeking, and more inclined towards actually developing something beautiful and powerful, like being of service to other people more than my own growth. And it's like, at some point over the past year or so, I kind of flipped into a new level, or a new center of gravity, people call it. I've spent more time interested in my work in the world rather than what is the nature of soul and sex and love and so on. And so I want to use the Vision Quest as a rites of passage to mark that. So if I've got any kind of unfinished business in my own questing, my own spiritual seeking, it's not like it's going to finish forever, right? And think I've made it and that chapter's done. But if there's any big pieces that I still need for the next phase of my life, I want to become aware of them and get those insights during the vision quest. And I want to use the vision quest to say, you know what, this formally marks the time. I've been growing in this way bit by bit, but this kind of marks the time where I'm going to plunge much fully into the world as a speaker, as a writer, as a teacher, as a, someone who's not off in the distance traveling, but someone who comes back to the town, actually finishing my hero's journey. You know, the metaphor of the hero's journey, he does, there's 12 phases. This is based on Joseph Campbell's work. He does 12 phases. Meets the mentor, exits the Shire, faces the demon, then they step up in drama every time. And number 12 of the hero's journey is you go back to the Shire and you tell the village people what you saw. Because the whole point of the hero's journey is that you come back a hero, not to be a hero, but so that you're actually of service to all the people in the Shire.
Yeah, that's definitely very important to bring your vision to the world, not just keep it for yourself, but actually receive something that you can share with your community to help them on their path and to better the world a little bit in that way. So I think your intention is really beautiful, really profound. And it's also necessary to participate with, this kind of intention. Your intention needs to be pure, and it's, you need to open your heart and feel what's really right for yourself, but also for the people around you to achieve something higher than yourself. You cannot do this kind of quest for your ego because, then afterwards you can tell people what you've been going through and you came out as a hero. But it's like a humbling experience. And this really also depends on the benefits that you'll get from it. Really depends on your intention and your integrity within the process. So I'm really happy to hear your intention is really beautiful.
So it's not like you can go on a vision quest and come back with a badass story that's just going to get chicks.
Well, you definitely have a badass story. Definitely have the badass story, but I think what impresses women most is when you're sincere and when you can actually talk about your feelings, when you can share your experiences and your ideas, your motivations from heart-centered perspective instead of an ego perspective. So I think this journey, if you go into it with the right intention, you'll definitely have a story to tell, and a really beautiful way of connecting with yourself and girls and other people
and everyone
that will come on your path as well.
So my second intention, on your land last year, we did a number of different rituals, right? And I entered into some incredibly deep states of meditation, like emptiness. Just like, I remember going out it was full moon, went out just with guys. I know you girls were watching some kind of food porn chick flick on the TV, and us guys went outside. I remember going into such a deep state, looking at the full moon, reflecting in the lake, and it was like pure emptiness. I mean, granted, I was with Stefan, who's like a Zen master, basically, but we got into the state of complete emptiness, and it was like totally transcendent, like that place where there are no thoughts, but there is just absolute fearless, obvious confidence, like that sense of inevitability. And I chuckled to myself, like in my deep state, like in my deep meditation by the river, looking at the moon. Stefan and the guys were talking shit, somewhere on the hillside. And I was there and I was thinking, the guys in our community, so often they come on the forum and they write, wow, you won't believe this, guys, just had this amazing insight. Like, I was thinking this, and this, but all of a sudden I discovered this, and now my whole way that I see the world and women or my old challenge has changed. I've had this insight, like I was lucky that this shard of divine thought came into my mind and everything changed. And I was by the lake laughing my head off, like, these guys are having insights, like, that's kind of sweet but totally lame. Like, from this place that I'm in right now, I am insight. Like, I entered into such a deep meditation, like such a deep state of transcendence. I was like, I freaking know the answer to absolutely everything. Everything is just so clear and obvious. And I want to, my second intention, revisiting your magical land, is to dive deeper than ever into that place of emptiness. Because after those 2 weeks, I go back into my normal life. That state of emptiness comes back with me. Like, I'm not there, you know, I'm not an enlightened guru who keeps that state forever, but something of that permeates my life even still to today, to the point of I'm in drama with women, or I'm seeing someone at the moment who's like kind of like a typhoon. Like, she's impulsive and crazy and full of life and amazing and unpredictable and for tearing the hair out of your head, right? That emptiness has me kind of be on the roller coaster with her, but also just laugh the whole way through and not get tied up with the drama. And I want to cultivate that. Like, what an amazing thing. And for me, you know, like, the more I do research on it, the more I hang around with my Tantra teaching friends here, it's like, that is that kind of sublime emptiness. That's the state of the masculine. That's the tantric teaching. That's the state of the masculine. I'm just unchanging, and whatever drama I can enjoy, I don't get crushed. And I just want more of this every year until I die. Like, give me more. It's a
great journey. Like, finding out. That's the greatest adventure of life, I think, is like experiencing these kinds of states and having these epiphanies, the paradigm shifts that you're going through. Because there's actually a paradigm shift, you know, from one moment you're looking at life this way, and all of a sudden it just changes from one moment to the next. You understand things on a higher level, and it's such a great adventure to experience that, but then also knowing that you can actually do things to have that more often, to have that connection more constantly. And as you said with, you know, this girl, is like, you know, you kind of become the observer. You see what's going on, you can laugh about it, because you'll also see your own tendency within it. Now you see your own patterns and things that are coming up. But instead of going into this emotional roller coaster and getting kind of like lost in it and coming out after a couple of months like, oh, what the fuck happened to me? You know, kind of just, you know, you observe and you see what's going on from a higher perspective. And that's what happens when you have these consciousness awakenings or these consciousness shifts. And I think, you know, this is something that we'll have continuously in our lives if we feed it. Yeah.